Hello viewers, I'm jjprinceyt, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about all the things I wish I knew before I started my YouTube channel. So here are the things that I wish I knew before I started working on YouTube. Number one, growth is really slow. It's incredibly, ridiculously slow. If you've seen my really old YouTube videos, I achieved 10 subscribers in a week. And that, I thought, was a big accomplishment. I thought I'd be getting 10 more subs every week. That's not how it works. I was actually really lucky to achieve 10 whole subscribers in 1 week. Most people would take like a month to just get 10. So if you feel like your YouTube channel isn't growing fast enough, just remember that a lot of the quote great YouTube channels that are super successful, their subscriber counts took them like years and years to get done. Most YouTubers I know that have hit 1 million subscribers, it's taken them at least 7 years to make it there. Anywhere from 7 to 10 years. And that's a big deal. There are some one-hit wonders, people who just come out and post one video and it goes viral and their channel blows up. And that's a completely different story. But for all intents and purposes, it's not really easy to achieve. Anyway, number two, some people just have connections. That's something that you've got to understand when you're making a YouTube channel. Some people start their channel and their subscribers blossom. They come out of the ground and they make trees or something and they just, blah, subscribers everywhere. It doesn't always work like that. There are some YouTube channels that are based on someone's social media account or based on the fact that they're a friend of a big YouTube channel. And these artists use their other influences in order to build their own channel. So if you happen to already have a decent social media following or know a YouTuber who is larger and more successful, it is totally shameless to ask them for a little boost or to reach out to some of your followers and say, hey, check out my YouTube channel. That's just normal. That's how you get more attention, to actually get people watching your videos, which is kind of important. Number three, Microsoft PowerPoint saves lives. Not literally, but it helps a ton. When I began my YouTube channel, I used Microsoft PowerPoint to create some of my first intros, and that gave me a lot of traction and was really cool. But what I didn't realize about Microsoft PowerPoint is I believed you could only transfer PowerPoints into video. I didn't realize you could also transfer them into pictures. And so, as you can see from some of my older videos, and a lot of older videos of artists who are just starting out, it looks like they took a cheap, grainy snapshot of one of their video clips and threw some Microsoft Paint stuff on it. And it's really unprofessional. But the thing is, though, is that as you can see by the title card for this video and the title card of other recent videos, those were made entirely on Microsoft PowerPoint. And the simple way to do so is to just use the different layering effects that come with PowerPoint. They give you lots of different word art styles and text options to make a style that looks unique and looks like you. The pictures that I place behind my different thumbnails, those are all pictures of things I took around the house. And then I went into PowerPoint's editing features and stylized them. You may also have to crop them. Just so you know, the 16:9, I believe that's what it's called, 16:9, that aspect for picture size is the aspect you should be using on PowerPoint if you are trying to make a thumbnail. Because making thumbnails, they should be in roughly that size in order to get the best quality and to not have any bars on the sides or on the top and bottom. Also, with PowerPoint, I was able to make my YouTube channel art, which was super cool to try for the first time because I had been using Paint myself for a long time and had been a great supporter of Paint. And don't get me wrong, Paint's cool for those who are really just starting out and can't understand some of the more complex ideas, but PowerPoint is a easy, workable option. So now with my current situation, with my current channel background, I can go in and remove the background, keep the lettering and the design that I like, keep my logo, and put whatever background behind it that I want. Now whenever it's Christmas, I can put a Christmas background behind it. Whenever it's Halloween, I can put a Halloween background behind it. And those kinds of things are really useful for channels that want to stay up to date and seem in the know with what is going on. Because viewers like it when channels are able to continue to update themselves and move ahead with what is new and what is up and coming. So that's a good trait to have. So please consider trying out PowerPoint because it will benefit you a ton. Number 4, you sometimes have to make really bad stuff in order to start making really good stuff. This is something that took me a while to learn, or at least to learn that it's okay. I began my channel making some really crummy videos. They were filmed in a storage room in the back of my house. You can see boxes behind me. I put my phone on a tissue box. I played guitar, and it was like a really weird angle. You could see into my nose. It wasn't really the best idea. But you have to understand sometimes that if you put out a viral video instantly, and this video is just flawless and perfect, has great editing, great vocals, great sound, great everything, where do you go from there? Every YouTube channel that is super successful, whether they've deleted them or not, has videos from way back when that were awful. Every big YouTuber has them. And that's kind of the mark of being a growing YouTuber, is starting out your YouTube channel and getting better. So if your videos are coming out and they're not what you like, just remember that a lot of people have dealt with the same thing. I watched some channels the other day where their videos, where they were doing a cappella, and the a cappella tracks was just their voice, and it was kind of off pitch, and it was very slow, and it didn't have a cool feel to it. But the video still got lots of views because the people were proud of this person's efforts, and they never put anything out better before. And then this person, several years down the road, made 10 times better videos with better sound and better everything because they were willing to put out that bad video first and continue to gain followers and gain ad revenue and money so that they could afford to make the better quality videos. So don't be gun shy about creating a YouTube channel simply because you're afraid that your videos will be bad. Because every YouTuber I've ever known has started out with at least one bad video. Number 5. There are different pros and cons and things to know about whether or not you should offer only one kind of merchandise or several kinds of merchandise. And by merchandise, I don't mean like their merch store, which is another thing that a lot of artists have, but I mean what you produce. What is your content? What is your theme? Some channels will only offer one kind of content. Examples of this are people like PewDiePie when he was just starting out and all that he made was gaming, different channels like that, or Peter Hollins, if you've heard of him, he only produces just music, a cappella songs. That's the only thing he does. And creating content this way is very streamlined and very efficient, and is something that I would definitely recommend for YouTubers that are just starting out. If you have one kind of content and one thing that is solely you, then that will attract a large crowd of viewers, people who are interested in what you have and interested in what you're doing. However, something that is very bad about having only one kind of content is it means that you are limited to a certain narrow group of people. If PewDiePie as a gamer, let's say, had 2 million subscribers and there was all these people who loved gaming, if he were to include in his channel music videos or silly skits or the other things, which he actually did start to include later down the road, it would increase his subscribers because there would be people who are interested in those other things. However, one of the downsides to this method of including other things is it means that you lose some subscribers who only came for one kind of content and are overwhelmed by the various different kinds of content. Not to slam anybody, but one of my examples of this is the channel Mashable. I got interested in the channel Mashable because they had a series with James Veach where he discusses how he combated spam emails and made really interesting responses that were very clever and funny. I wanted to subscribe to his channel, but I decided against it because I realized that this channel that they promoted his content on, Mashable, also had loads of other kinds of content, and it was so much, such a wide market, that I didn't feel like I wanted to subscribe to all of that. And so that's another thing to keep track of if you're deciding to do multiple kinds of entertainment. I feel like the limit for me, as you can see by my YouTube channel and the themes that I do, I feel like the limit is around 3 or 4 different kinds of content. Because people like the occasional vlog, that covers different topics or explains where you're at and how things are going. People like your primary content, what things that it is you're most interested in. And then people like a secondary content, something else that you enjoy doing. So I feel like those 3 are the biggest things you can do. For me, those things are guitar and music is my main content, and theorizing is my secondary content, and then vlogs are the other things that I make. I used to do other things like reviews, and I tried to animate and other things as well. And while that was very cool, it spread out my fan base so much that there were certain people who stopped watching my videos because they were uncomfortable with the amount of different kinds of content. They wanted to watch what they wanted to watch. And if I was not going to keep putting out what they wanted to watch, and I was going to have all these other kinds of things, they didn't want to experience all of that work. 6, industries that are tough to get into. There are a long list of industries that are tough to get into. And let me tell you, being a YouTuber, no matter what, will be and should be decently tough to keep up with. It's a hard job, it's not easy, and there's a lot of risk involved and a lot of things you have to try out before you find your niche and your little spot. But if you are trying to go into YouTubing, there are a couple of industries that you should try to avoid. One of these is gaming. If you want to become a gaming channel, good luck. There are millions and millions of gaming channels. If you type in the word gaming, there are loads of results that will come up. And there are ways to narrow the search, you know, like lower view channels and blah, 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 blah. But the amount of gaming channels that are on YouTube is extraordinarily high. And I have ran into so many channels, millions of channels, that are sitting at around like 50 subscribers and can't get any higher. And they're producing just as good quality as some of the gaming channels with thousands and thousands of subscribers. It's such a competitive department that the only channels that really are recognized are the ones that are already huge. And unless you have something new and unique to offer, or you start playing a game before anyone else does, gaming is very difficult to get into, so I would not recommend doing gaming. The second industry that you should probably not get into is animation. And I say this with all of the sadness in my heart. Unless you have a team of animators who work with you and you're not just one person, getting into animation is a very difficult and risky choice. I'm not saying that it's a bad choice, and if you're really good at it, go for it. But because of what the Odd Ones Out has done and what Jaden Animations and Something Else by T have done, these big animation giants, they all receive some form of help on their videos. They don't do it alone anymore. And they were able to produce videos very frequently enough to keep up with the flow. But if you're a struggling animator who's doing it just by yourself, animation is not a good starting ground for your content because you will get swallowed up. The Odd Ones Out a while ago did a huge collaboration streak where he collaborated with all these different channels. And every single one of these channels ranged from subscribers of thousands of thousands down to subscribers of like 50 or less. And this giant collaboration thing really proved to me that even though the Odd Ones Out was willing to do this at one point to secure his own success, that there are so many channels that don't get that kind of success. Some of these channels, even the ones that got him included, didn't really even gain that many subscribers from it. And that was the scariest part of it all, was even with a collaboration with the most, or one of the most well-known animators, these channels were still struggling, still down to 50-something subs, not able to get any higher because there's just so many of them. So that's another thing you need to watch out for. But if you do want to get into animating or gaming, that is still totally up to you, and good luck. Number 7, industries that are good to get into. One of the industries that I think is really good to get into is theorizing. If you become a theorist, you are one of the very few coveted channels. Because things like gaming and animation are so widespread and so well known, theorists are a very small elite group of people that can still get a lot of views on their content depending on what they release. Some examples of theorists include The Theorizer, Watso Videos, Seamus Gorman, Super Carlin Brothers, me, and a bunch of others. Theorizing is still hard because, like I said, every YouTube channel, no matter what you choose, will be hard. Theorizing can be something interesting if you manage to snag the first spot on certain things. Some of my most popular videos have been reviews of trailers that I released before any other channels could. Many of the popular theorizing channels take some time to cultivate their theories, and they're only released a certain amount of time after a movie's release. This allows for up-and-coming theorist channels to swoop in with, easier editing and cheaper stakes and different things like that, and create their own videos that can get some views right as the things are coming out. Something that I suggest doing but not doing too much of is going and commenting on the trailer you're making a theory for. Once you have a link for your theory, post it in the comments of the trailer and invite people to come to it. One thing that I recommend though while doing this is do not use the same phrase over and over again. If you're going to comment on a trailer, make sure your responses are specific and nice, and most likely please try to put your link past the read more line in the comment. Because if you have a link right in people's faces, people get annoyed. So just say, if you are interested in this link, it is down here below the read more. And then they can click the read more, and there's the link. I think that's the best way to do that kind of thing. Another thing to note about theorizing though is that theorizing in itself has very many different genres. People like game theory, you know, that's a big channel. Game theory, who's also film theory, you know, Matt Pat and all the work that he does with his team. He has a team. They review video games and films, but there are lots of other things that you can review. There are books, there are films, there are video games, there are, you know, different like audio dramas, YouTube series. You can be a theorist who theorizes about YouTube. I've seen that before as well. And finding your own little niche where people appreciate what you're doing and what kind of content you're bringing out is really critical to making a good YouTube channel. Number 8. Getting your own niche. Just like I was saying before, finding your own content is the best way to create your own YouTube channel. This is something that I've tried to do in some of my videos, and I plan to try more, which is incorporating things like rap, because seeing a white person rapping and playing guitar isn't as common as a lot of other things. And so that's why that's the kind of content I like to produce, because it is unique and it is interesting, and it gains new viewers who have not seen content like it before. If you offer something interesting and something new that's not just about, you know, who knows, Roblox or fidget spinners or something cheesy, if it's unique and it's you, that kind of content is going to get you further than anything else. Because when people like Matt Pat started out, theorizing about games and movies was not a very common thing. Same thing goes for PewDiePie. Gaming channels were not as big a deal back when he started out. In fact, YouTube wasn't as big a deal when he started out. So if you find a content that no one else is really interested in and no one else is really doing, that can get you all kinds of success. So that's one thing you need to remember too. Especially if your content is a content that is only featured by certain artists, you can collaborate with these certain artists who are perhaps larger and bigger in this industry and get them to help support you. The way to do this is by capitalizing on the fact that both of you are part of an elite group of people who believe in something that not a lot of other people believe in. And through building these camaraderies and these friendships, not in a deceptive way, but in a real way, you can use the success of others to help give yourself success in a way that benefits everybody until you become a solid part of the community. The last thing I would like to say is you need to make sure to collaborate with low-level artists. This is a really difficult and very confusing process to stomach, because a lot of artists just starting out are like, man, I'm already trying to get my own channel off the ground. I don't need to be worried about other people's channels. But turns out when you help out other channels and when you do your part to help lift up other low-level subscriber channels, especially ones that deal with the same kind of content you're creating, it benefits everybody. Because people who watch their channel come watch your channel. People who watch your channel come watch their channel, and both are edified and lifted up by this strengthened relationship. So please try to reach out and collaborate with people. To close, I would like to say that even though my channel is over 300 subscribers, I am willing to collaborate with you. Anyone and practically everyone I will collaborate with. There are certain limits to what I'm willing to discuss or collaborate on, and I'd much prefer to collaborate on something that is a content similar to what I offer on my channel. But reach out to me and we can discuss. My link will be in the description for my email. As a final closing statement, I would just like to say that if you are trying to start a YouTube channel, you've already won. So many people have interests and talents and desires that they want to show other people, and they bottle them up and they hide them away and they never show them to anyone else. But if you have a talent that you want to show and you're willing to get out there and make something of yourself, that is already the first step. That is the biggest thing you can do, is just being willing to go out and start. So go out there, start, and have a blast, because YouTube is a fun experience and the community just keeps growing. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.